I'm able to self-sustain and I can give back to my community because I'm overflowing with abundance. And it made me realize that like people who are on the boat, they have the space to manifest because they're not constantly drowning. And now it's not like the boat was passing by me every time. It's the boat was passing by every month throwing me the life raft. But I was drowning and so tired and so exhausted. And this is where, when you recognize things that you could have done better in your past, it's important to be easy on yourself because, yeah, I could have done better, but I was in survival. I was sick, so I was repeating things that were comfortable, like eating bad food and stuff. Now, that didn't necessarily make me sick, but it's the whole stress and the cortisol and the downhill of everything and the domino effect, right? And so like I could have done better, but I did the best that I knew how with what I had, right? And every month you guys would throw me the life raft, the donations for rent and stuff like that. And so I would just hang on long enough for you to get a breath of air, and then I would just be too weak, not in like an emotional way or a bad way, but like imagine like physically fighting water for like hours, and then like someone pulls you in, like it's really hard to hold on to that little life raft thing. And so I was just really too weak to hold on. So I would just hold on long enough to catch my breath and let go. And then that's where I would turn into another month of donations, and stuff like that. And I realized that while driving home. And it really made me approach this coming week for rent differently. So we'll be doing my Jeep stream. If you guys are familiar, I used to get donations and gifts from TikTok for writing your guys' name, your username, or your name on my Jeep. So we'll recontinue that, and I'm gonna open up a GoFundMe. Before I was doing month to month, but now I realize, okay, like I can raise like $10,000, right? And I feel like I'm worthy of that. I feel like I'm deserving of that. Before I felt bad for even asking for $2,500 for donations through like five, $1, $3. It made me feel bad, right? But now I'm like, you know what? Fuck everyone. Not everyone. I love you guys, but the trolls and stuff that make me feel bad for asking for help. And I'm like, you know what? This is my recovery. Like, if I can get 4 months under my belt of just no stress, just focusing on healing and getting back to walking and bringing my muscles back to normal and stuff like that, then that would be the best. And who says I couldn't? So that's where I'm like, okay, like I thought of this idea, like to do a GoFundMe for 3 to 4 months of rent. And it never came across my mind like that before because I subconsciously didn't feel like I was worthy of it because these trolls and stuff made me feel bad enough for making $2,500 in donations for just covering rent, even though my situation. But doing the EFT tapping, although this week was more, it felt more strenuous because of the trolls and stuff, but I think that was important to push me as like a catalyst. I always say there's not really negative energy, it's more of a dance. It's just there to push the positive energy up more. And that's where we're at now. We've made the eviction goal and rent's due Wednesday, but I am not scared. I'm actually excited to pay rent. I've never been excited to pay rent. Um, and so we'll do my Jeep stream. I'm going to focus on doing my photo shoot tomorrow. I got a few vlogs to do this week. We'll do the Jeep stream early morning, Monday and Tuesday, and evening, Monday, Tuesday. And by Wednesday, I'll pay my rent. I'll pay a little bit back towards my friend who loaned me money to pay rent a couple months ago because I'm still paying her off. And Friday, I'll have another photo shoot. We'll do Twitch, and things are kind of finally leveling out. And that's all thanks to the EFT tapping. And I really do feel like at this point, like I've gained a lot of subscribers. Like I think I have 92 subs on OnlyFans. That's not enough to cover rent. I think I would need like 300 to cover rent and my bills comfortably. Um, so 300 is the goal of paid subs, and that's not including like packages that I sell within the platform, right? So it's like, okay, now I know that I want my subs to make my rent. I know I want that money to come through my OnlyFans. So it's like I can direct that energy more towards that. And although we're going to focus on the Jeep stream for, everything, for the rent amount, but it comes through donations. It comes through gifts, in many ways. And I'll post videos like, hey, if you want your username, if you want your name on my Jeep, we're doing a Jeep stream. All of this helps me pay for rent. It keeps a roof over my head for this month. So if you would like your name on my Jeep, throw a donation my way and we'll write her down. The bigger the donation, the more times your name is written on my vehicle. And we have like one side that's almost full, so we'll fill up that one panel and then we'll move to the hood if we have to. But it's been completely, with my luck, 10 would come with a felony, 10K. No, I mean if that's how you imagine it, I guess, but there's lots of ways money can come in. And that's what I want to teach you guys. Like it doesn't have to be OnlyFans and stuff, but it's what aligns with you, what you like to do. Like you could be working and you could manifest 10K and it could come to you from a source that you're not even aware of. The point is to hold the thought and envision yourself with it. Check in a few times a day and just get into that feeling of like having it. Like a lot of times when I was doing the eviction thing, you guys would see me close my eyes and just like deep breath, but it was more than just a deep breath. In my mind, I'm picturing myself going to the bank, and I like to picture like the hassle part of it, like ugh, I have to walk into the bank, ugh, but yeah, I gotta walk into the bank and get my check done. So it's like the practical side of things that you'll have to do with it. You run through it in your mind and you feel it. You don't just visualize it, you feel it. Like, I'm so happy I'm walking into this bank, like, yes, finally. And let's get back out to my car. Okay, let me get a water from McDonald's. And then like imagine myself driving to the place to drop off my check and stuff. And so I really feel it, right? So you can do that with the money for anything. But for me it's a different circumstance because I've been drowning the whole time. I've been survival and I couldn't make space for that 10K to come in. And now this month you guys have thrown me the life raft, and instead of just hanging on for dear life, I've decided to kick with it. Kick so that when you're pulling me in, it's pulling me in a little faster because I'm helping you guys pull me in instead of just you pulling me in alone, right? So that's where it's like, okay, I'm using this momentum now that I'm going to keep doing this thing, and I'll put together the GoFundMe and we'll raise the donations. And I'm working on getting karma through my Reddit so that I can visit these donation spots I do think they'll help me reach my goal and really fast, because I've been healing and I have like a little storyline that I'm going to do video recording. I've been recording like my progress healing and everything like that, my walking and everything like that. So I'm going to do some little story video thing that will really help get the clear picture of like, this is my recovery that people are helping with, not just saving me from disaster every month. Like, this is the journey upward at this point. You know what I mean? And really, I have EFT tapping to thank for that, because it's helped my joints get better, helped my clarity, helped me put down the fast food, helped me choose things that weirdly, like pot marigold, that help support my health and healing and just everything. Like, it's actually incredible to me because, like I said, like I usually would just be taking the next few days off after doing donations like that, but I was ready to get back at it again today. I changed my bed. It took like 3 minutes. I've been proactive making the dogs food. I even meal prepped for myself. I cut up a pineapple, meal prepped my dinner, meal prepped some lunch. I just eat a refried bean tostada with tomatoes for lunch. So just getting my refried beans from a place is the meal prep, and cutting up the tomatoes. Nothing crazy. Um, Almost done with our song. Aw, I can't wait to hear it. But it's completely shifted my life. Like, in a matter of weeks, it's literally changed my life, this EFT tapping, which is why I want to have like a segment of it on its own, because it's too much to go into tonight. But giving you guys the background of everything, and I think by next week, we can see how rent has been taken care of. We can see how things have played out and how the EFT tapping has helped guide that. But so far, like, tonight is a really big deal because after the stream, like, I want to go get a beer from a gas station. And like I said, I never would have done that in the past. I've been wanting to, as like a little test to myself, like, go out and get a treat, but be in the social environments, put yourself in that environment, even though you have a cane, just deal with it. It's okay, kind of thing. And so tonight I'm like, yeah, I actually feel ready to do that. And like, it's so funny because like I find myself cleaning randomly, which before, like, I would neglect my place because my joints hurt. But now it's like I'm excited to clean, and I don't have that executive dysfunction or whatever blocking me from doing it. Like, I don't get anxious, and I didn't care really to spend time scrolling. The only time I scrolled today was to find a few funny TikToks to repost to my stories because I like to make you guys laugh. um I like my page to be a good place to be. I want people to feel welcomed and like they're gonna get a dose of good dopamine, not something that hijacks your nervous system, just dopamine that makes you laugh and makes you know that you're in the good place. But like, just even changing my bed, like usually I'd put that off, but I changed it right away. Even last night, like, I took a nap and I was gonna come on stream, but I was too tired. But what I did do is someone needed a package to be sent out, and I said I'd send it out last night, and I was like, oh, I don't even want to do this, but I did it. And that was like actually really surprising to me because usually the old me would just delay it to the next day, edit it, watermark it, and send it out. But no, I woke up at like, I don't know, like 12, because I'd fallen asleep at like 5 o'clock. And so I woke up around 12 and I was like, I'm not like that tired, so I can send out this package. So I did. So like it's just all the old habits that I was procrastinating and stuff like that. It's completely rewritten. So like I made my bed and that took like 2 to 3 minutes. I don't even think it took that long. I think it literally took a minute. And I was like, what the fuck? Because last time I did my bed, change my sheets, it took me probably like 5 minutes. And the time before that, that took me like 10 minutes because it was so hard to do. And then not only that, I went in and cleaned my closet. What the fuck? What? That's so unlike me. And then I put together my clothes to drop off at the cleaners because my laundromat, it's actually cheaper for me to have them clean my clothes than for me to clean my clothes because I think maybe I just don't know how to do laundry. But what I would do is I would take all the clothes and dry them first to get rid of all the dog hair and then wash them. And I would do like 2 washes to get like any dog smell off of it. And then I'd put it back in the dryer. So at the end of the washing phase, I spent like 50, $60 and it cost me like 35, maybe $40 to get my clothes washed by them. And I get it done like every 2 months because I have a lot of clothes and I don't really switch out. I mean, I've been wearing this outfit for like 2 days now, but I don't I don't do much. And so it's like, okay, well, I can wear clothes for a couple days in a row and stuff. So it's like, okay, I just turn it into them. So like I packed up my laundry. Like I didn't even think about like, oh, I have to do this. It was just like I did it. And I just cleaned my closet and like it's just like slowly my place is coming together. It's more clean, it's more put together. And I think this is significant in a way, in a little woo woo way. I had like really bad fly issue. And I remember people saying this year like the flies were the worst. And they say in the spiritual world that flies and gnats are like a spiritual attack. And I don't think like someone's like spiritually attacking me like one on one. I think it's a collective. I think a lot of us are going through this transformative phase and there's a collective negative energy that's trying to make sure it doesn't happen. And flies, they like to hover around stagnation. They like to hover around, just in general dirtiness. And I'm not saying like my place was dirty, but like I would leave garbage on my counters for like, 3, 4 days and the flies would get into it and maggots would happen. And then like I don't even know how it happened. There was one day where I woke up and like it was like 3, 4 days in a row. I would just keep waking up and there's little maggots crawling across the floor. I'm like, where the fuck are these coming from? And I still don't know where the hell they were coming from because this was at the point where like I was trying to keep up on the garbage, keep it tidy. So I'm like, literally, there's nowhere where these should be coming from. I don't know where the hell they were coming from. My only guess is like there was dead flies everywhere. So like I think the flies were like laying the eggs on the dead flies. I don't know. So I had like a lot of, let's call it a spiritual attack, whatever you want to call it, but a lot of fly issues, right? And then it subsided. And then all of a sudden I had a horsefly issue. Like it was like a final punch of like spiritual attack with bugs. And I've never had a horsefly issue in my fucking life while being here, ever in my life in general. But they would just come in and they would die. Like they wouldn't even fly around. They would just come in and die. One was flying around. I remember it landed on my knee and I freaked out. I was like, oh! I was doing my dishes. I was like, oh my God. And the dogs started freaking out and barking. But like they didn't thrive. It's not like the house flies where they'd fly around and like, lay eggs and everything like that. So they ended up like flying around and they would just die. And I don't really know why they were in here. But then they eventually just like subsided. Like after like 3 days, they just completely stopped. Like and like I can leave so when I say garbage, the dogs eat chicken, right? So they have a lot of chicken bones and I keep it in a garbage bag on the counter because like every few days I tie it up and I throw it in the garbage to prevent flies from getting into it, right? And I used to have them all over my garbage bin and everything. Like they were so bad. No matter how clean I tried to do it. And so I feel like at that point, the bigger flies were coming in and I don't know why. And in the palm, I think you should go to therapy. Any dude and I know you're a dude, just by your comment. Any dude who says that first off the bat needs therapy. It's giving incel behavior, which is very concerning. I bet you're like 20 something years old. Hopefully you're not older than that, but even at 20 years old, that's very concerning. I'm going to also assume you're probably single, based off of how you came into this stream. So go suck some dick and go live your life. Stop worrying about other people, and maybe you should seek some therapy yourself.